All right, people. So I want to talk about, Trump in the polls with general election polls with Clinton, how Trump is closing in on Clinton here. So let me just go over these polls to start off the video. So Tuesday, Quinnipiac came out with some polls here, state by state. And when they come out with general election, the whole general election, all 50 state polls, those really don't matter too much. It's more of state by state that matters, and especially the swing states that will decide, end up really deciding the election. I mean, it's kind of fucked up how the voting system works for the primaries and the general election, because you got the delegate shit, and now we got the electoral college thing. I mean, it really should just be about popular vote, if you ask me. But anyway, we have Pennsylvania. This came out Tuesday. In Pennsylvania, and these are 3 swing states here. These polls came out Tuesday. I believe they were Quinnipiac polls. But you had Clinton up by 1% in Pennsylvania. Florida, you had Clinton up by 1%. In Ohio, you had Trump up by 4%. Now, these are very close. You could pretty much say it's a tie right now in these 4 states, especially Pennsylvania and Florida, where Clinton's only up by 1%. Ohio, Trump's up by 4%, so I guess you could say that's, a little bit more decisive. But point is, a lot of people are saying, oh, look at the polls. Trump is losing by the most to Hillary. Trump will never beat Hillary. I disagree. And let me make this point, too. This is an important point. When Trump won the general election, there was a lot of people, or when Trump won the Republican nomination, there was a lot of people saying, oh, Trump's, there's a lot of Republicans that are not going to vote for Trump. The party's divided. A lot of people saying, never Trump, never Trump. And you heard Ted Cruz saying 70% of Republicans, or 65% of Republicans don't want Trump as their nominee. Well, that turned out to be false, because now we had a public policy poll out, too, where, 70-some% of the Republicans were voting for Trump, and then on the Democrat side, you had about the same amount of Democrats voting for Clinton. So it's really, there's no separation there, where the Republican Party is more divided than the Democrat. It's basically the same amount of Republicans and Democrats voting for Trump and Clinton, meaning the same percentage of Republicans voting for Trump as the same percentage of Democrats that were supporting Clinton. And like when Trump became the nominee, more people kind of hopped on Trump, started supporting Trump. I think when Bernie loses, because we all know he's not going to win the nomination, when Bernie loses and they realize, a lot of these Bernie supporters, I think they're going to jump on the Trump bandwagon. They're going to start supporting Trump. So I think that's really going to happen when Bernie loses. A lot of Bernie people are going to say, okay, now I'm going to start, supporting Trump. I really think that might happen. Or at the very worst, they're not going to vote for Clinton. I find it hard to believe a lot of liberals will either vote third party or just not vote at all, or vote for Trump. Who knows? Then on, I believe it was Wednesday, there was a general election poll showed Clinton was up by only 1%. A Reuters Ipsos, I believe it's pronounced, poll showed Clinton up by 1%. And then Friday, today, another poll. I don't know, I might upload this video Saturday because it's kind of late here. But Friday, general election poll, Clinton was up only 2%. So as we see here, the polls are showing Trump is really closing in, and pretty much now it's kind of a tie, I think, between Clinton and Trump, as we see with the polls. These last polls coming out here, and these last 7 days, 5 days, whatever, I don't know, show Trump is pretty much now tied with Clinton. I mean, those are 3 polls, that have come out that really, or I guess you could say 5 if you count, the Pennsylvania, Florida, Ohio ones is separate, but you have these polls coming out now that show, they're pretty much tied. Maybe Clinton's up, okay, 1 or 2%. I don't know. Point is, it's pretty much a tie. And like I said, a lot of people were saying, oh, Trump's he's not the right person to go up against Hillary. And I kept saying, I still think Trump is the best person to go up against Hillary. I've been saying that for a while. I think he's the only person that could realistically defeat Hillary. And my point is becoming correct now. As I said, I think he's going to get a lot of Democrats voting for him. I think he's going to get a lot of new voters voting for him. And I think he's going to do very well. I think he has a great chance to beat Hillary now. I think he's going to win. You know, I think Trump is going to be our next president. I think he's going to really beat Clinton by a lot, because I think it's hard for Clinton to go up at this point. I think Trump's going to go up because, again, I think he's going to get a lot of those Bernie supporters, and there's a lot of them. And the question is, you know, you look at the polls, you know, you have a lot of people, you know, again, Clinton, Trump, head and head. But I think Trump supporters are much more dedicated than Clinton supporters. And what I mean by that is Trump supporters are more inclined to go out to vote. We see that by the rallies. Many more people go to Trump rallies than go to Clinton rallies. They're more inclined to go out there and take action, while Clinton supporters are older. And you look at Clinton rallies, I don't think there is an app to go out there and actually vote. They might say in a poll, you know, if a polling place calls your house and say, oh, who are you going to vote for, Clinton or Trump? Oh, I'm going to vote for Clinton. But are you actually going to go out there in 5 months or however long it is and vote? Are they actually going to do that? I think Trump supporters will, more than Hillary supporters. So I really think Trump's going to win here. I think he's going to get new voters, Democrat voters. I think the polls are showing he's favored among independent voters as well. And I think people are going to see Clinton for the bitch, let's face it, the bitch, the fucking sleazebag, the fucking witch that she is in the news, in the debates. And I think it's going to be great. And like I said, a very exciting time I keep saying it's a very exciting time to be alive here in the world right now. You got a populist, you know, candidate, not perfect, but a damn good candidate in Trump rising. People realize, you know, the system's corrupt, and they're seeing Trump as the best solution. Like I said, not perfect, but he is a very good candidate, and I fully support him going forward here. So great news here with these polls, showing that the public is, you know, again, realizing Trump's the answer and Clinton's not. So hopefully it will, you know, these polls will continue forward. Hopefully Trump will continue to gain momentum and beat that fucking bitch Hillary Clinton. So there you go, people.